Hey welcome to Zville Lessons for Live channel. My name is Xander Villain, and this is lesson 17 in our beginner guitar lesson series. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over the last couple lessons, what we've been working on, and keep expanding upon that, moving forward with that, adding some new flavor to scaling, double stops in scaling, and getting chord progressions into scaling. Fun stuff like that. So let's jump right into this. All right, welcome to lesson 17 in our beginner guitar lessons series. Please hit like and subscribe. That'll help our channel grow. And to start with, we're going to get into what we were practicing on the last few lessons, which was the adding a couple more of the positions to the minor pentatonic scale. And I haven't done one position yet, and that's going to be position 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to base that out of A like we have been. There's your first minor pentatonic scale out of A. You can find that because you can always look for the root note on the 6th string, and that's going to be where your first position is. They call this kind of the dam too, I guess. This is the one position out of all the positions where your root note is. You're just going to play all the bottom portion of the first minor pentatonic scale out of whatever note you're in, all on the same fret. So in this case, it's out of A, so we're on the 5th fret. That means all these strings are in play, all these frets are in play on all the strings, and then you go 1 4 1 3 1 3 1 3 1 4 1 4. We've talked about all this before, so I'm not going to rehash everything, but what I was trying to get you guys to do was to think outside the box and not stay in the same place all the time. So instead of go. So that's your 5th minor pentatonic scale right here. And we already covered that, but I'll show you real quick. It's going to be 2 4 2 4 1 4 1 4 2 4 2 4. And the top end of that scale is the bottom end of the first scale, because there's only position, I should say. There's only 5 positions. And so on this one, you have all the ones on the 5th fret right there in play. See how my pinky is always in play, but I adjust down here. So, and then number 4 is right below that. It's also up here on the 12th fret, and most people will play the 4th pentatonic scale up here on the 12th fret. When you're based out of A, it would be on the 12th fret. And I really like this 4th position because you can find it easy if you're on an odd chord that you're not used to playing in. Root note, what the song is based out of, the note that the song is based out of being odd, because you can always just look for the root note on the 2nd string. So let's say we're out of G. The song's out of G. You got your first based out of your G on your 6th string. We'll find your G on your 5th string, and you've got your 4th position right there, right? So that one's the easy one to find. Then the ones that are around that are easy to find too, such as your 5, which is right, and then your 2nd would be right after that, right? And if this is your 4th, right here, you can find your 3rd right below that, and your 5th right above it. So you kind of use these 2 positions, the 1st and the 4th, to find the other positions quickly. And it's hard to memorize. If you're playing out of A and you're used to it, you already know where all the positions are. If you're playing out of G flat, it's going to be like, well, where are they? They're going to be 3 down from where I'm usually at. So there's your G flat. You could do that. There's your 4th right there. You could also find the note. But finding those ones in between can be really tough. I want you guys to keep working on moving that around, because then you can find the positions easier. The more you do it, the better you get. We were working on that. I'm going to show you where the 3rd position is here in a little bit. But we were also working on adding double stops and not being boring with your leads like. So those are single note leads, and they're not necessarily boring, don't get me wrong. I'm just trying to add flavor to it by adding double stops. You take the notes of the first minor pentatonic and the second minor pentatonic scales, right? And then you can say, okay, these are the notes. 1, 3, 2, 4, right? That's going to be your second minor pentatonic scale. It's the top of your first and the bottom of your third. Well, instead of playing single notes, I was having you add in. And some of these aren't necessarily double stops. They're just add-ons, you know, like this is a double stop. But when you get into that's more of a oddball chord or something, and you're just going to the notes within the scale and adding flavors. And I want you to think about that. I don't want you to necessarily master it right away. So we're going to talk more about that. I still want you guys to keep working on that song Teeny Weeny. It's up on our channel, so go check it out. It's a great spider walk. It's a great exercise, and it's really anchored in the blues. So if you like doing the blues, even if you don't like doing the blues, you should be doing the blues at this point because you're still a beginner. You're getting real close to being in the intermediate level. If you're up to lesson 17, you're going to be just touching into the intermediate level when we finish up on lesson 20. This is a 20 lesson series. We're not quite done yet. That's a 1-4-5 blues pattern. It's usually done in the 12-bar blues, but then you can alter that. Lots of blues songs by like ZZ Top and Eric Clapton and all these guys, they alter it slightly. It's not always a 12-bar blues, but they're using the same 1-4-5 blues pattern. So there's other stuff we're getting into, but let's just jump into the lesson at this point. What we're going to do here is I want to, first off, get you up to the third position, the final one we haven't talked about because we've talked about the fifth, we've talked about the fourth, we've talked about the second because it's right after the first. The only one that's left then is the third. So let's talk about that to start this lesson off. Third one is a good one as well because you've got a triple box position. What I mean by that is on your first minor pentatonic scale, and we're out of A here, guys, so we're on the 5th fret for the first position. You got 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3. There's a triple box, right? You got that here too. See, it's the same thing. Because you go A, now you're to where that is, so one of the good ways to remember how this pattern goes is it's every note on the, since we're in A, would be the 10th fret, every note except for one on the 3rd string. And on the upper part of the 3rd position, it's every note here except for the 2nd string. So you go. And then you're back to that position. So this is the only position that goes above the 4 as well, guys. So you got 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 1, 4, 2, 5, 2, 4. So, and remember in the 4th, you remember you got this, right? It's, and that's your 5 on your 3rd scale. It's your 2 on your 4th position. So that's your 3rd position. Let me show you again real quick. Here we go. 2, 4, 2, 4, 2, 4, 1, 4, 2, 5, 2, 4. Now that's your 3rd minor pentatonic position in the A minor pentatonic scale based out of the 5th fret because that's where your A note is, right? So if you're messing around and see, if you don't want to do that stretching, you can keep in boxes. You can go. See that? I never leave the two notes 2 frets away from each other. Box. Now I'm going to switch up to the 4th, and you got 2 together right there. So if you're brand new, you really are stuck in these boxes a lot, because stretching out to that 4th fret can be pretty tough. And that's why this is one of the main climbs, and we talked about this in the last lesson. See that? I never left the 2 frets away from each other positioning. I covered part of the 5th, into the 1st, into the 2nd, stay in the 2nd, up to the 3rd, and you're always in the 2nd, only 2 frets away from each other. Same with here. So that's your 3rd position, and that's the boxes that I've been talking about. Now, that's what I want you to keep working on there. When you've got 2 notes apart, or even there, you know, there's your oddball. Remember, it's every note of this in particular position of the scale, number 3, the low end is on the 10th fret, the high end is on the 12th fret, except for 2 notes. On the 3rd string, you're going to go down 1, and on the 2nd string, you're going to go up 1. See that? So those are your 2 oddballs on this one. 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 9, 12, 10, 13, 10, 12. That's what I'm talking about right there. So you can... There's a little cheat that we were talking about when we were talking about that Mary Jane's Last Dance thing. He's doing this. That's because this note, even though it's not part of the main scale, this note is a complementary note to the scale. And you can get into that kind of stuff. Now I'm going to go back 3 or 4 lessons into, there's the top of my A major, and that can also be considered a complementary note. Those 2, because when we get into the major pentatonic scale rather than the minor that we've been working in, that is part of that. Those 2 notes right there. So you can go. And now you're starting to combine the scales, but we're not quite ready for that yet. I just wanted to show you how that works. Right? You can add flavors like that. So I want you to keep looking at the scale positions, 2nd position of your A minor pentatonic scale. There's that chord we were talking about on the last lesson. Okay, so one of the other things I wanted to touch on with that whole lead playing thought process and practicing for you guys, bending. It's going to be really hard on you guys. I know you're still, even though you're up into the 17th lesson, it's kind of still new, but do simple stuff too. Don't try to go berserk, don't try to be Eddie Van Halen or Yngwie Malmsteen or something like that. Think Eric Clapton, think, Gary Moore, think Jeff Beck, think slow, jazzy, kind of bluesy stuff, and just play around with it. Bend the string up and then hit the note. Stuff like that. Just start here. That's going to be your 7th fret of your 3rd string. You bend it up one note, you know. You're going to bend it up to that if you can. Right? A good one to think about kind of too is Pink Floyd Wish You Were Here lead, the opening lead. But here's what I wanted to show you. Bend. See those bends? Let me show you that again. So that's the very end of that lead, that opening lead, which is done on an acoustic guitar rather than an electric. Now notice how they're in that box. They're playing out of G, so they're in a G box here. They're only using these 4 notes, but they're bending to other notes. Let me show you again from the top, from the second part of that. Then that's the end, right? So look at how much you can do in just that little box if you think about doing bends. So there's some double stopping in there. There's some oddball double stopping because you're using part of that major pentatonic scale in there by cheating, like I showed you on that Tom Petty song right there. You're using bends like I was just showing you for that Pink Floyd stuff. Just start messing around, like put on some song that you know that's got a nice long rhythm section in it, or put on some drum loop or something like that off the internet. There's all kinds of backing tracks on YouTube, and just start playing along with it. Even if you're brand new and you're still having trouble. Even if it's not making sense to you, go ahead and just do it anyways. Bend, keep bending because you're going to want to get better. And on that note, I'm going to bust into this a little bit. I wanted to show you this on this lesson too. This is something that's common. Ted Nugent did a lot of this stuff back in the day. Kiss does this. What you're doing is you're going to take this note, bend it up to this note to match this note, which is the other part of... See that? You can do it here too. Really hard if you're brand new to bend a note that far, like I was just showing you here. So instead of just doing this, you could do this. Now you can hear when it goes into tune with itself. Out of tune, out of tune. There it is. That's a pretty far bend, you guys. It's a tough one to do, but I want you to start working on that. So let me show you how that's done here. You've got your 5th minor pentatonic scale out of A. So these are the last 4 notes, 1, 4, 1, 4. You're going to take the 4th position of your B string, 2nd string, in your 1st position of your, this 1st fret and 4th fret of the 1st position, A minor pentatonic scale. And here's a cheat. You can, instead of just doing this with these 2, put your ring finger right behind your, put your middle finger on the 3rd position, right behind your ring finger on the 4th on your B string, and bend it. Use this guy right here. Sorry to flip you off, but use your ring finger, your middle finger, to help your ring finger push the string up. And that is a, See how you're matching the note? That's a bend. So that's something else I want you to start working on for this lesson. Here, once again, you've got 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 3, 1, 4. You can take the 1 of your B string and the third position of your third string. So B string's your second string. There. So it's 5th fret and 7th fret. And then here you got to go up one more. So you're going up to your 8th fret. Just playing around. Single notes. Do a double bend. Double stops. Single notes with bends. Double stops with bends. So keep working on that. 12th position. Go down to the 9th fret or the 10th. Go down to the 8th. Go down to the 5th. Those all fit in with the A because you're doing the notes, right? You're doing, this is part of the A scale, this is part of the A scale, this is part of the A scale, this is part of the A scale. Then you can bend all those. They all work with A. So keep working on that. Work on your third position and adding that in. Keep working on your 5th position and your 2nd position as well. You should know your 4th and your 1st pretty good by now. Work on your double stops. Work on your bending. Work on your double note. And that will improve your playing quite a bit if you keep working on these little things right here to get your lead section together. Hey, so that's it. I hope you guys got something out of this lesson, and if you did, please hit like and subscribe. That'll help our channel grow. Check out another lesson. Go ahead and click over here. Check out our channel, see all our lessons and videos. Go ahead and click this link over here. Thank you guys. We really appreciate you watching, and we'll see you on the next one.